Hello, YouTube. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to be talking to you guys about United States and Venezuelan relations. So, let me start off by saying that a little bit of history here. Chavez was the president that preceded the current president right now, Nicolas Maduro. Chavez didn't have a great relationship with the United States, and the Venezuelan government didn't have the greatest relationship. However, it was better then than it is now. Same goes for the economic situation in Venezuela. It was better then than it is now. Although most uh, people will, or most economists will tell you that the Venezuelan government, even when Chavez was in office, was on its decline. But Chavez went as far as to say, I think around 2002, that the U.S. government was trying to assassinate him. He made it public. Also, but Chavez was in the United States, I think around like a year before that or 2 years before that. He threw a pitch at a Yankees game. So now there's been some speculation by some reliable sources and some military officers that I personally know that there is some military buildup. I'm not going to go on a limb and say, that there's going to be military buildup or there may be some. However, there may be some type of war, or I'm not going to say that. However, I can honestly tell you where there's gas, there's oil. United States has a big interest, and the United States will go to war for oil. Grenada is very close to Venezuela. I've been told that there's been a lot of activity there. Just recently, Governor Rick Scott had said that had told encourage U.S. companies. He's the governor of Florida, to stop dealing with doing business with Venezuela. Just to give you maybe a public view, there was a poll taken, a Venezuelan poll, and it's about 80% of Venezuelans want to see Maduro removed. Maduro was just on recently American television, PBS, and he actually said that the Venezuelan people are pretty upset with the American government, not only because of the restrictions of doing business with Venezuela, but also he said that responding to President Trump's remarks almost as an act of war, by saying that President Trump, and I'll try to remember, he said something in reference to the Venezuelan people are starving, and the country. This is Donald Trump. The country is collapsing, and the democratic institutions are being destroyed. But the most important thing that Donald Trump said, this situation is completely unacceptable, and we cannot stand by and watch. Now, Venezuela, a big thing for them, Maduro kind of responds to that, is they want their sovereignty. It's a big thing for them. And there are a couple of reasons why the United States will probably try to have their hand into Venezuelan politics, is because there are large oil reserves, large gas deposits, large gas reserves. And he even went on to say that Donald Trump doesn't even know what Puerto Rico is. And when he went to Puerto Rico in times of crisis, Maduro says that he insulted the Puerto Rican people. Maduro kind of feels Trump is rude, and Trump wants to end the Venezuelan people. This is what Chavez is saying. Chavez is also saying he has no right to threaten us. Chavez is also saying going as far as to say that Trump is trying to kill him. I have no credibility to, I have nothing to say. I don't know, but, the United States has definitely had their hand in murdering other leaders of other countries. And I'll leave that at that. He says we have a right to defend ourselves. And not only that, the biggest thing he says is we have Russia and China on our side. So he believes their national security and international law should be respected. Maduro also sent out an open letter to Americans. And he, kind of goes on to talk about we are friends to the American people. We are not a threat to American society. We're just a independent country, and we want our rights respected. Going back to Obama also instituted sanctions against Venezuela. However, just as I said at the beginning, Trump's relationship with Venezuela was certainly better than Trump's relationship with Venezuela. It says Venezuela is no threat but hope. Independence or nothing is how Venezuela, much of the Venezuelan leadership feels. Maduro also says that about a year ago, he said that Venezuela, he actually came out publicly and said that Venezuela called on the nation's military leaders, and they said, we must prepare for war with the United States. Now, going back to China and Russia, China, on one hand, is building roads and building certain degree infrastructure in Venezuela. Not only that, China is lending money. Beijing Reuters came out and said, don't worry about the United States. They'll help with the national stability of Venezuela. And that's in part of, with money and loans. I don't know how that's going to work out. Russia, of course, Maduro is saying is willing to give them military assistance as well as China. Just about a week ago, Venezuela had said that they were going to shun the greenback and try to inject about 2 billion euros, 2.3 billion into the economy. Venezuelan Vice President Tariq is quoted as saying that we're all in with the euro and the yuan, and he said that this so-called blockade and with the Donald Trump's presidential administration is going to fail. I can tell you, now Maduro has been asked several times, and you can, look it up about, the Venezuelan people. I think I'd said they lost on an average of 19 pounds. And he seems to, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, seems to be in denial about what's going on. When I talk to Venezuelans personally, people are certainly suffering in that country. There needs to be, hopefully, they'll find some economic stability. But American and Venezuelan relations are not that great. I hope for the best.